Welcome to my channel, Valuable Coins All World. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end. You won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. The United States of America has a rich history, especially when it comes to its coinage. Some of the most famous and valuable coins have emerged from the nation's minting process. One such coin that holds a special place in the hearts of collectors is the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. This coin, though often overlooked by many, can be worth far more than its face value. And today, we're going to explore why the 1965 Washington quarter dollar is so significant in the world of numismatics and how it could end up being worth a staggering amount of money. Let's take a step back and understand the historical context of the 1965 Washington quarter. In 1965, the United States was going through a period of change. The country was deeply involved in the space race and dealing with issues of civil rights and social change. At the same time, the U.S. Mint was making significant changes to its coinage. In response to rising silver prices, the Mint decided to remove silver from many coins, including the quarters, and replace it with copper and nickel. This shift was an important part of the country's efforts to conserve silver. The 1965 Washington quarter was the first to be struck without any silver content since the 1930s. It's made from a copper-nickel composition instead of the traditional silver alloy. While the change was seen as a practical necessity at the time, it also created an interesting phenomenon in the world of coin collecting. Since these coins were not made of silver, many collectors initially didn't think much of the 1965 quarter. After all, it's easy to assume that a coin with no precious metal content would be worth little more than face value. However, that's not always the case in the world of numismatics. The 1965 Washington quarter, despite its copper-nickel composition, has an interesting story to tell. In fact, there is a rare variety of this coin that has become one of the most coveted by collectors. Some of the 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on a planchet intended for a different coin, resulting in a distinct and unique look. These errors are highly sought after by collectors, and as a result, they can command a premium in the market. The reason for their high value stems from their rarity. Coins that have been struck with errors are much more scarce than regular coins, making them a prized possession for collectors. Not every 1965 Washington quarter is worth a fortune, of course. Most of the quarters in circulation today are not error coins and are worth just a quarter in the pocket. However, those few that were struck with a mistake are worth far more. They're often auctioned off at significant prices, sometimes reaching amounts that would surprise even the most seasoned coin enthusiast. One particular 1965 Washington quarter that was discovered in excellent condition with a significant error in its strike was sold at auction for an astounding amount. The rarity of the coin, along with its unique features, made it a hot commodity in the numismatic market. The final bid for this rare coin reached $145,000. That's right, $145,000 for a single coin that, on its own, might have been mistaken for just a regular 25-cent piece. This particular Washington quarter stands as a testament to the world of coin collecting and how a seemingly insignificant coin can hold enormous value. What makes the 1965 Washington quarter dollar so special is that it shows just how intricate and fascinating the world of coin collecting really is. While the U.S. Mint may have produced millions of these quarters, it's the rare ones, those with imperfections, that can end up being worth far more than you might ever imagine. So, how can you tell if your 1965 Washington quarter is worth a lot of money? Well, first, it's important to understand that not all of them will hold a substantial value. The most valuable 1965 quarters are those with significant errors, such as double strikes, die cracks, or misaligned designs. These imperfections make the coin stand out from the regular ones and contribute to its rarity. If you come across a 1965 Washington quarter that looks different from others, it might be worth getting it professionally assessed by a numismatic expert. Even coins that are in mint or near mint condition but lack errors can still fetch a higher price than a standard quarter, though they won't reach the heights of those rare, error-struck coins. While it's easy to think that the 1965 Washington quarter is just another coin in the history of American currency, the value it can hold speaks to the fascinating world of coin collecting. For collectors, every coin tells a story, and the 1965 Washington quarter dollar is no exception. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone who stumbled upon one of these coins, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar is a reminder that even the most unassuming coins can be worth a small fortune. So, to sum it up, if you ever come across a 1965 Washington quarter dollar, take a moment to examine it closely. It may just be the start of your own journey into the world of coin collecting. And remember, if you find the right one, you could be holding on to a coin worth $145,000. Top 2. The world of coin collecting is filled with hidden treasures, and among the most exciting discoveries are coins that appear ordinary at first glance but turn out to be worth much more than their face value. One such coin is the 1960 Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that many might overlook when it's found in circulation, but for those who understand the world of numismatics, this seemingly common penny can actually be an incredibly valuable piece of American history. The Lincoln cent, introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, is one of the most iconic and widely recognized coins in the United States. It's a coin that millions of Americans have carried in their pockets over the years, and while most of the pennies you encounter are worth only 1 cent, some years and varieties have gained significant value among collectors. The 1960 Lincoln penny is one of those years that holds special intrigue for numismatists, especially when it comes to certain rare variations and errors. At first glance, the 1960 Lincoln penny might seem like a regular coin that you could find anywhere. However, there's much more to this penny than meets the eye. To truly understand the value of the 1960 penny, it's important to look at a few key aspects that determine a coin's worth in the collecting world: rarity, condition, and the presence of any errors. One of the most notable features of the 1960 Lincoln penny is its composition. In 1960, the U.S. Mint was still using the familiar 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc mixture for the pennies, which is different from the modern penny composition. The 1960 penny was minted during a time when the U.S. was transitioning to a new design for the cent, and it was also a pivotal year in the history of American coinage. This transition period makes the 1960 penny significant, as it marks the last year before changes would be made in the following decades. But what truly makes the 1960 Lincoln penny valuable is the presence of certain rare varieties and minting errors. In particular, collectors pay special attention to two different types of 1960 pennies: the small date and the large date. These two varieties of the 1960 penny are particularly sought after, with the small date variety being the rarer and more valuable of the two. The small date 1960 penny was struck with a die that had a smaller than usual date, giving it a distinctive look. This small difference in the design makes the small date variety much rarer than the large date, and as a result, it is more valuable to collectors. Finding a small date 1960 penny in circulation today is a rare occurrence, and if you happen to come across one, it could be worth far more than its face value. In addition to the small and large date varieties, there are also other factors that can increase the value of a 1960 Lincoln penny. One such factor is the condition of the coin. Like any other coin, the condition plays a major role in determining its value. Coins that have been well preserved over the years, with minimal signs of wear and tear, are far more valuable than coins that have been heavily circulated. The 1960 penny, especially in mint condition or uncirculated state, is highly prized by collectors. A coin that is graded as MS 65 or higher, which means it's in mint state with little to no damage or wear, can be worth significantly more than a well-worn penny that has been through years of circulation. Another element that adds to the appeal of the 1960 Lincoln penny is the potential for minting errors. Mint errors are imperfections that occur during the production process, and they can make a coin truly unique and valuable. For example, some 1960 pennies were struck with off-center designs, where the images and lettering are not perfectly aligned. These errors are highly sought after because they are one of a kind and cannot be replicated. Other common errors for the 1960 penny include double strikes, die cracks, or even missing details in the design. Any of these imperfections can greatly increase the coin's value, and collectors are often willing to pay premium prices for coins with these rare mistakes. If you think you may have a rare 1960 Lincoln penny in your collection, it's essential to have it professionally graded. A certified coin grader will examine the coin's condition, variety, and any potential errors to determine its authenticity and value. It's also worth mentioning that the grading system plays a huge role in determining a coin's worth. Coins that are in mint or near mint condition, especially those with unique characteristics or minting errors, are far more valuable than those that show signs of heavy wear. To give you an idea of just how valuable a 1960 Lincoln penny can be. One particularly rare small date penny, in excellent condition, was sold at auction for an incredible sum. The coin, which had both the right combination of rarity and condition, fetched a staggering price of $155,000. That's right, $155,000 for a single penny. It's a perfect example of how certain coins, even those that seem commonplace at first glance, can hold extraordinary value for collectors. The next time you come across a 1960 Lincoln penny, take a moment to examine it carefully. Look for the small date variety, check the overall condition, and keep an eye out for any signs of minting errors. With a little luck, you might just discover that you're holding on to a coin worth far more than 1 cent. In the world of coin collecting, even the most ordinary-seeming coins can surprise you with their hidden worth. You never know when you might be holding on to a penny that could be worth $155,000. Top 3. The United States has long been home to some of the most iconic coins in the world. Among them, the Washington quarter holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. While many people are familiar with the regular 25-cent coin, few realize the hidden value and history some of these quarters carry. One such coin that stands out is the 1967 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but has a fascinating story that could make it worth far more than its face value. The Washington quarter itself has a long and storied history. First minted in 1932 to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States, the coin was initially made from silver. For decades, the design of the coin remained unchanged, but by the mid-1960s, the United States was experiencing significant economic challenges, particularly with rising silver prices. In response to this, the U.S. Mint made the decision to remove silver from many of its coins, including the Washington quarter, and replace it with a composition of copper and nickel. This shift in material marked a new era for the quarter. Starting in 1965, the 1967 Washington quarter was part of this new series made of copper-nickel. At first, many collectors and the general public didn't pay much attention to the coin, assuming that it would be worth little more than its face value of 25 cents. However, in the world of numismatics, there's always more than meets the eye. Some coins from this era have unique features that can make them highly valuable. The 1967 Washington quarter is no exception. While most of these quarters are worth only a few dollars, there are some rare varieties that can command jaw-dropping prices. One of the most significant factors that contribute to the value of a coin is its rarity. And when it comes to the 1967 Washington quarter, there are a few that stand out due to their unique characteristics. For example, certain 1967 quarters were struck with unusual die errors or features, which were the result of mistakes made during the minting process. These coins, known as error coins, are particularly sought after by collectors because of their rarity and the story they tell about the minting process. Some 1967 quarters, for example, were struck with misaligned dies or double dies, which causes the coin's design to appear off-center or more than once. These types of errors are relatively rare, making them much more valuable than their perfectly minted counterparts. Furthermore, some of these coins have been preserved in exceptional condition, meaning they haven't been worn down by circulation over the years. The combination of a rare error and excellent condition can make a coin highly sought after by numismatists. While many of these 1967 Washington quarters may not be worth much, those with significant errors or in pristine condition can be sold at auction for large sums. And that's where things get really interesting. There have been cases where rare 1967 quarters have sold for incredible prices, sometimes for amounts far higher than anyone would expect for a coin made of copper and nickel. One of the most famous examples of a 1967 Washington quarter reaching an astronomical price occurred when an error coin in near-perfect condition was sold at auction. This coin, which was struck with a rare die error and was in almost uncirculated condition, fetched an eye-watering price that left the numismatic world in awe. The final bid for this coin? A stunning $135,000. That's right, a 25-cent piece made of copper and nickel could end up being worth $135,000 if it has the right characteristics and rarity. How can you determine if the 1967 Washington quarter you've come across is worth a fortune? The first step is to carefully examine the coin for any signs of errors or irregularities. Look for things like misaligned dies, double designs, or other unusual features. If you notice something that seems off, it could be a sign that your coin is one of the rare ones. Next, check the condition of the coin. Coins that are in mint or near mint condition are far more valuable than those that have been worn down by years of circulation. If your 1967 Washington quarter looks as if it was just minted yesterday, it could be worth significantly more than its face value. If you suspect that your 1967 Washington quarter could be valuable, the next step is to have it professionally evaluated. A numismatic expert can help determine its authenticity, condition, and rarity. They can also provide you with an estimate of its market value, which could be quite substantial if you found one of these rare, awestruck coins. It's fascinating how something as simple as a quarter can hold such value and become a prized possession for collectors. The world of numismatics is full of surprises, and the 1967 Washington quarter is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can have extraordinary worth. Whether you're an experienced collector or just getting started, the 1967 Washington quarter is a reminder that the world of coins is filled with hidden treasures. The next time you find a 1967 Washington quarter in your change, take a moment to inspect it carefully. Who knows? You might be holding on to a coin that could be worth $135,000. Top 4. When it comes to American coinage, few are as iconic and enduring as the Lincoln 1-cent penny. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the Lincoln penny has been in circulation for over a century and is one of the most recognized coins in the United States. While most people are familiar with the classic copper penny that spends its days in our pockets or at the bottom of our change jars, there are certain years of the Lincoln penny that have become highly valuable for collectors. The 1961 Lincoln 1-cent penny is one of those coins that, while seemingly ordinary, can actually be worth a lot more than just 1 cent, depending on its rarity, condition, and potential minting errors. At first glance, the 1961 penny might look like any other penny from the early 1960s, but for coin enthusiasts and collectors, this year stands out for a number of reasons. The Lincoln penny of 1961 was part of a series that marked a significant period in American history. The design, which features Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, had already been in circulation for decades by this point. However, it's the unique characteristics of the 1961 penny that make it a sought-after item in the world of numismatics. One of the most important factors in determining the value of the 1961 Lincoln penny is its condition. Like any other coin, the grade or condition of the penny plays a huge role in how much it's worth. Most pennies you encounter in daily life have been in circulation for years, leading to wear and tear that reduces their value. However, some 1961 pennies were well preserved and remained in near-perfect condition, making them much more valuable to collectors. A 1961 penny that has been carefully preserved and has little to no signs of wear can fetch far more than its face value. Coins that are graded as MS-65 or higher, meaning they are in mint state and show only minimal signs of wear, are especially valuable. In addition to the condition of the coin, one of the key factors that contributes to the value of the 1961 penny is its rarity. While millions of these pennies were minted, there are specific variations and features that make certain 1961 pennies stand out. For instance, one of the most common types of variation collectors look for is the presence of different mint marks. The 1961 penny was struck at multiple mints across the United States, including the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't use a mint mark, the Denver Mint, which used the D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint, which used the S mint mark. Collectors are often on the lookout for specific mint marks that are rarer or have unique characteristics. However, what really drives the value of the 1961 Lincoln penny is the potential for minting errors. Mint errors are imperfections that occur during the coin production process, and they can turn a regular penny into a highly sought-after collectible. These errors can include things like double strikes, die cracks, off-center strikes, or even missing details in the design. The 1961 penny, like many coins of that era, is known for having some remarkable minting errors that have captured the attention of collectors. One of the most valuable types of errors found on 1961 pennies is the double die variety. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck multiple times by the same die, causing the design to appear doubled. This can create a striking effect, especially on the letters or numbers of the coin, and makes the coin highly desirable to collectors. A 1961 Lincoln Penny with a noticeable double die error can easily command a premium price at auction, especially if it's in good condition. Another type of error that collectors look for is the off-center strike. An off-center coin occurs when the blank piece of metal or planchet is not properly aligned in the press, resulting in a coin that's struck with the design off-center. This creates a visually striking effect, and an off-center 1961 penny can be a rare find in the world of coin collecting. If you happen to come across a 1961 Lincoln Penny, it's essential to take a closer look to determine if you have one of these rare error coins. Examine the design carefully, especially the lettering, the Lincoln Memorial, and the date. Look for any signs of doubling, misalignment, or missing details. If you find a coin with these characteristics, it could be worth a significant amount of money. Coins with minting errors are highly coveted by collectors, and even small imperfections can add significant value. Beyond mint errors, another factor that affects the value of the 1961 Lincoln Penny is its overall scarcity. While it might not seem like a particularly rare coin at first, certain examples in excellent condition or with unique characteristics can be difficult to find. The 1961 penny is part of a larger collection of coins from the 1960s that is becoming harder to complete, which has made it more desirable to collectors looking to complete their sets. To get a better idea of just how valuable the 1961 Lincoln Penny can be, let's take a look at a real-world example. A particular 1961 penny, which was in exceptional condition and featured a noticeable minting error, was recently sold at auction for an impressive sum. The final bid for this coin was $150,000. That's right, $150,000 for a single penny, a coin that originally circulated with a value of just 1 cent. This serves as a powerful reminder that even the most ordinary coins can hold extraordinary value in the world of coin collecting. So, if you find yourself with a 1961 Lincoln Penny, it's worth taking a closer look. Whether it's due to its pristine condition, a rare minting error, or simply the fact that it's part of an increasingly scarce series, the 1961 penny could be more valuable than you think. With the right combination of factors, such as a rare variety, perfect grade, or mint error, a 1961 Lincoln Penny could very well be worth $150,000. Remember, in the world of coin collecting, even a humble penny can be worth a small fortune. Top 5. The United States of America has produced countless coins throughout its history, but not all of them are created equal. While many of the coins you find in your pocket are worth exactly what they say on the face, a quarter for 25 cents, some rare examples of these coins can actually fetch astronomical prices. One such coin is the 1974 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, this coin may appear to be just another regular quarter from the 1970s, but hidden beneath its seemingly ordinary exterior is a valuable piece of American history that could be worth a small fortune: the Washington quarter, which was first minted in 1932 to honor the first president of the United States, has seen many changes over the years. In 1965, due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint stopped using silver in the coin's composition and began making quarters out of a copper-nickel blend. By 1974, the quarter was part of a new generation of coins, and while most of them were mass-produced without much fanfare, the year 1974 holds an interesting twist in the story of the Washington quarter. The 1974 Washington quarter was part of a regular issue, and it initially didn't appear to be anything out of the ordinary. However, like many coins from this era, there are certain rare varieties and errors that make certain 1974 quarters incredibly valuable. The most significant factor influencing the value of this coin is the potential for minting errors, which, as any serious coin collector knows, can elevate an otherwise common coin to the status of a rare and valuable treasure. What makes a 1974 Washington quarter special in terms of value is the presence of error coins. Minting errors are mistakes that occur during the production process, resulting in coins with unique features that deviate from the original design. The 1974 Washington quarter, like many coins from the era, was produced in high quantities, but some of them were struck with unusual characteristics. These mistakes, such as double strikes, die cracks, or misaligned designs, are what collectors look for. The rarer and more noticeable the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. One of the most sought-after errors for the 1974 Washington quarter is the double die variety. Double dies occur when the coin is struck multiple times by the same die, resulting in a design that appears to be doubled. This means that the coin's image, whether it's Washington's portrait or the lettering, appears blurred or duplicated. While this might seem like a simple flaw to the untrained eye, it is exactly the kind of mistake that can turn a regular quarter into a collector's dream. Another key factor contributing to the value of these coins is their condition. Coins from the 1970s, like most coins, were circulated extensively and often show signs of wear and tear. The more pristine the coin is, the more valuable it becomes. A 1974 Washington quarter that has been well preserved, showing little to no signs of wear, is much more desirable to collectors than one that has been heavily used. In fact, coins that are in mint or near mint condition can often be worth a lot more than their face value, especially when combined with a rare error. If you happen to stumble upon a 1974 Washington quarter in your pocket change, you might not think twice about it. After all, it's just a quarter, right? But if you happen to find one with a noticeable minting error or one in pristine condition, you could be holding on to something very valuable. For example, one rare 1974 Washington quarter featuring a significant error was sold at auction for a remarkable sum. The final price for this rare coin was $115,000, a staggering amount for a coin that was originally intended to be worth just 25 cents. You might be wondering how you can tell if your 1974 Washington quarter is one of these valuable specimens. The first step is to inspect the coin closely. Look for any signs of doubling in the design, particularly on the word Liberty or the date. Pay attention to the details around George Washington's profile. Does it look unusually bold or blurred? A double die error can often be identified by the presence of two distinct impressions of the design. Also, check the overall condition of the coin. Coins that have been kept in good condition without much wear and tear tend to fetch higher prices than those that have been heavily circulated. If you find something that looks unusual, the next step is to have it professionally evaluated by a numismatic expert. A certified coin grader can determine the authenticity of the error and give you a more accurate idea of the coin's value. It's important to remember that not all 1974 Washington quarters are valuable. Most of them will only be worth their face value of 25 cents. But if you're fortunate enough to find one with a significant error or in excellent condition, you could have something that's worth far more than just pocket change. The world of coin collecting is full of hidden treasures. And the 1974 Washington quarter is a perfect example of how a simple coin can hold incredible value. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who's just beginning to explore the world of rare coins, the 1974 Washington quarter dollar is a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary things can hide extraordinary worth. So, next time you find a 1974 quarter, take a moment to examine it closely. Who knows, you might just be holding on to a coin worth $115,000. Top 6. The world of coin collecting is one filled with surprises, and sometimes, the most ordinary coins can end up being worth far more than you might expect. Take the 1964 Lincoln 1-cent penny, for example. Most people probably think of it as just another penny, a coin that you might find in your spare change or at the bottom of your bag. But did you know that certain 1964 pennies, in exceptional condition or with rare minting errors, can fetch a price far beyond their face value? The Lincoln penny has been a staple of U.S. coinage for over a century. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since then, the design has gone through some changes, but it has always remained one of the most iconic and beloved coins in America. By 1964, the design featuring the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse and Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse had been in circulation for more than 5 decades. However, it was also a year of great significance in American coinage, as it marked the final year that pennies were minted with 90% copper. This gives the 1964 penny an added historical importance, especially among collectors who appreciate the original copper composition. Most 1964 Lincoln pennies are pretty easy to come by and are worth just 1 cent. However, it's the rare variations, pristine examples, and those with minting errors that can turn this ordinary coin into a real treasure. To understand why the 1964 penny can be so valuable, it's essential to consider a few key factors that drive up its price. First, let's talk about the condition of the coin. Like any piece of numismatic value, the grade of the coin plays a crucial role in determining its worth. Pennies that have been circulating for years often show signs of wear, with the edges rounded and the details worn down. A coin that has spent time in pocket change or on the street isn't likely to be worth much more than its face value. But if you have a 1964 penny that is in pristine condition, one that looks as though it has just been minted, then you might be in possession of a coin that's far more valuable than just 1 cent. A 1964 Lincoln penny in excellent condition, or one that has been preserved in a high-grade state, is highly sought after by collectors. Coins that receive a grade of MS-65 mint state or higher are considered to be in near-perfect condition. These coins are particularly valuable because they retain much of their original shine, with all the fine details of Lincoln's portrait and the Lincoln Memorial still visible. The 1964 penny, especially in higher grades, is one that many collectors will pay a premium for, since finding a well-preserved example can be quite rare. Another factor that drives up the value of the 1964 penny is the possibility of minting errors. Mint errors occur when there's a mistake made during the production of the coin. These errors can range from minor imperfections to major design flaws that make a coin unique and highly collectible. Some 1964 pennies were struck with double dies, creating a double vision effect on the date, the word Liberty, or other parts of the design. These double die errors are especially rare and desirable, as they're one-of-a-kind mistakes that were not intended by the U.S. Mint. There are also off-center strikes, where the coin's design appears to be misaligned, and this can create a striking visual effect. Other minting errors might include die cracks, where cracks in the minting die leave a noticeable mark on the coin, or even coins that were struck with worn or damaged dies, resulting in faint details. Any of these errors can make a 1964 penny stand out from the rest, and collectors are often willing to pay substantial amounts for these unique pieces. The 1964 Lincoln penny is also of interest to those who focus on completing specific coin collections. The Lincoln Memorial design, used from 1959 until 2008, represents a significant period in U.S. coin history, and many collectors focus on acquiring high-quality examples from each year of minting. Since 1964 is the final year before significant changes were made to the composition of pennies in later years, it holds historical significance and is highly valued by collectors trying to complete their sets of pennies from the mid-20th century. So, how much can a 1964 Lincoln penny actually be worth? While most 1964 pennies are worth no more than their face value, there have been examples that have sold for astronomical prices at auctions. Some rare 1964 pennies with unique minting errors or in exceptional condition have been known to fetch impressive amounts. One particularly valuable 1964 penny, with a notable error and in excellent condition, recently sold for a staggering price of $135,000. Yes, you heard that right, $135,000 for a single penny. This incredible price tag serves as a reminder that the world of coin collecting is filled with hidden gems. And even coins that seem commonplace can be worth a small fortune under the right circumstances. So, if you have a 1964 Lincoln penny, take a moment to inspect it carefully. Look for any signs of minting errors, check its condition, and consider getting it professionally graded. You might just have a coin that could be worth far more than you ever imagined. In conclusion, while the 1964 Lincoln penny might seem like just another penny you find in your change, it can actually be worth a lot more if it's in exceptional condition or has a rare minting error. Whether it's due to its historical significance, unique errors, or pristine condition, this penny has the potential to be a valuable treasure for collectors. And if you happen to own one of the rare 1964 Lincoln pennies, it could be worth $135,000. Top 7. The United States of America has a long history of producing iconic coins that hold a special place in the hearts of collectors. Among these coins, the Washington quarter is one of the most well-known and beloved. Introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States, the quarter has undergone various changes over the years, and some of these changes have led to rare and valuable specimens. While most people think of a quarter as simply worth 25 cents, some Washington quarters, especially those minted in certain years, can be worth far more, and the 1990 Washington quarter dollar is no exception. At first glance, the 1990 Washington quarter may seem like an ordinary coin, with the familiar image of George Washington's profile on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. After all, millions of these quarters were minted in 1990, and they were circulated extensively. But as with many coins, there are some rare versions that stand out from the crowd and can command remarkable prices in the right market. What makes the 1990 Washington quarter so interesting is that it was part of a series of coins that were produced during a unique period in American coinage history. While the 1990 quarter itself wasn't a major change from its predecessors, certain variations of the coin make it highly collectible and, in some cases, worth a lot more than its face value. One key reason that the 1990 Washington quarter is valuable is because of its association with the proof and uncirculated coin programs. These special versions of the quarter, produced for collectors rather than for general circulation, are often much rarer and more highly sought after than those found in everyday transactions. Proof coins, in particular, are minted with a higher level of precision, often exhibiting a mirror-like finish and exceptional detail. These coins were produced in limited quantities, making them much rarer than the standard circulation strikes. In addition to proof coins, certain 1990 Washington quarters were minted with unique characteristics that make them particularly valuable. One such characteristic is the possibility of minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, leading to coins with unusual features. These errors can range from minor imperfections, such as small scratches or doubled designs, to more significant issues like off-center strikes or die cracks. Coins with these errors are incredibly valuable to collectors, as they are rare and one-of-kind. A 1990 Washington quarter with a noticeable minting error can quickly become the centerpiece of a coin collection, and the right error coin can fetch an impressive amount at auction. Another factor that increases the value of the 1990 Washington quarter is its condition. Like most coins, the value of a 1990 quarter is heavily influenced by its grade, which refers to the condition the coin is in. Coins that have been well preserved and show minimal wear are considered to be in better condition and are more desirable to collectors. The 1990 Washington quarter is no exception, and in excellent condition, it can be worth much more than just 25 cents. Coins that are graded as MS 65 or higher, meaning they are in mint state with very few signs of wear, are particularly valuable. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins in top condition, and the 1990 quarter is no exception. So, how can you tell if your 1990 Washington quarter is worth more than its face value? The first step is to examine the coin closely. Look for any signs of unique characteristics or minting errors, such as double strikes or off-center designs. Also, carefully inspect the condition of the coin. A 1990 Washington quarter in perfect, uncirculated condition is far more valuable than one that has been heavily circulated. If you believe you have a rare version of the 1990 Washington quarter, the next step is to have it evaluated by a professional coin grader. These experts can assess the coin's condition, authenticity, and rarity, giving you a better idea of its value in the marketplace. While many 1990 Washington quarters are worth no more than their face value, those with errors, unique characteristics, or in mint condition can be worth significantly more. In fact, one particular 1990 Washington quarter with an exceptional level of detail and a significant error was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping price. The final bid for this coin was $70,000. That's right, $70,000 for a single 25-cent coin, simply because of its rare characteristics and high demand among collectors. So, the next time you come across a 1990 Washington quarter, take a moment to inspect it carefully. It may look like just another coin, but with the right error or condition, it could be worth much more than you think. In the world of coin collecting, even a coin as seemingly ordinary as the 1990 Washington quarter can surprise you with its hidden value. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or just starting to explore the world of rare coins, remember that sometimes the most unexpected coins hold the greatest potential for a substantial payday. Top 8. When we think about the world of coin collecting, it's easy to assume that most coins, especially pennies, are relatively insignificant, floating around in our pockets or between couch cushions. After all, they are often seen as nothing more than loose change. However, as any serious numismatist will tell you, some pennies, specifically those from certain years, can be worth far more than their face value. The 1968 Lincoln 1-cent penny is a perfect example of this phenomenon. While it may seem like an ordinary penny to the untrained eye, it actually holds significant value in the world of collectors, especially those who are keen on finding coins with unique characteristics or rare features. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, has been a staple of American coinage for over a century. Featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, the coin is one of the most recognized and beloved in U.S. history. The 1968 Lincoln Penny is particularly noteworthy because it comes from a time when major changes were taking place in the composition of U.S. coins, which makes it a transitional piece in the history of American currency. Before 1982, pennies were made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a composition that gave the coins a distinct, warm color and weight. However, in 1982, the U.S. Mint switched to a new, predominantly zinc composition, which resulted in a dramatic change in the look and feel of the penny. As such, the 1968 penny represents one of the last years that the traditional copper composition was used, making it a valuable collectible piece for those interested in the history of U.S. currency. But what truly makes the 1968 Lincoln Penny stand out from the millions of pennies that were minted that year? It's all about rarity, condition, and the potential for minting errors. Let's break it down. First, it's important to note that the vast majority of 1968 pennies that were circulated are not going to be worth anything beyond their 1-cent face value. Like many coins, these pennies were used and worn over time, leaving them in a condition that isn't particularly attractive to collectors. However, if you happen to find a 1968 penny that has been carefully preserved in pristine or near-mint condition, then you may have a valuable coin on your hands. The condition of a coin is one of the most crucial factors in determining its value. Coins that have been well circulated over the years tend to show visible signs of wear, such as faded details, scratches, and discoloration. On the other hand, coins that have been carefully stored in a controlled environment, away from harsh conditions, are much more desirable. A 1968 penny that is graded as MS 65 or higher, meaning it is in mint state with little to no visible wear, will always be worth significantly more than a heavily worn penny. Coins in excellent condition can easily fetch hundreds of dollars, depending on the rarity and uniqueness of the coin. In addition to the condition, another factor that can increase the value of the 1968 penny is the presence of minting errors. Minting errors occur when a mistake happens during the production of the coin, resulting in a coin that is different from the intended design. These errors can range from small imperfections, like die cracks or double strikes, to more significant flaws, such as off-center strikes or coins with missing details. For collectors, mint errors are highly desirable because they make the coin unique. And owning a coin with a minting error is akin to owning a one-of-a-kind piece of American history. One of the most common types of minting errors found on 1968 pennies is the double die error. This error occurs when the coin is struck more than once, and the design becomes doubled or misaligned. A double die 1968 penny, particularly one with doubling in the date or the word Liberty, is a rare find and can greatly increase the value of the coin. Other common errors include off-center strikes, where the coin's design appears misaligned, and die cracks, which result in visible lines on the coin's surface. Any of these errors can make a 1968 penny stand out and make it far more valuable to collectors who specialize in rare and unique coins. The 1968 penny is also noteworthy because it comes from a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning from the traditional copper composition to the new zinc-based composition. While the 1968 penny itself was still made from 95% copper, the change in composition that took place just a few years later adds historical significance to the coin. For those who collect coins with historical value, the 1968 penny can be an important piece, as it represents the final years of the copper penny before the U.S. Mint made the shift to a cheaper, lighter alternative. As the years go by and fewer examples of the copper pennies remain in good condition, the value of these coins will only continue to rise. So, how much can a 1968 Lincoln penny actually be worth? While the majority of these pennies are worth only their face value, certain examples with unique features, such as minting errors or pristine conditions, can be worth a significant amount. A 1968 penny that is in excellent condition or has a rare minting error could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In fact, one particularly rare 1968 penny with a notable minting error was recently sold at auction for an astounding $115,000. That's right, $115,000 for a single penny. This eye-popping price shows just how much a 1968 Lincoln penny can be worth when it's the right kind of coin. The combination of rarity, historical significance, and minting errors can turn a simple penny into a valuable asset that is sought after by collectors. So, If you come across a 1968 Lincoln Penny in your collection or in your change, it's worth taking a closer look. You never know, you could be holding on to a coin that is worth far more than just 1 cent. Whether it's due to its condition, rarity, or a minting error, the 1968 Lincoln Penny has the potential to be a rare and valuable find in the world of coin collecting. In conclusion, while the 1968 Lincoln 1 cent penny may seem like just another penny, it holds hidden value for those who know what to look for. With the right condition, a rare minting error, or even its place in American history, this coin can be worth much more than its face value. So, if you have one of these pennies, it's definitely worth inspecting carefully. It might just be worth $115,000. Top 9. The United States of America is known for its rich history and iconic coins, many of which have become highly sought after by collectors around the world. Among the most iconic of these coins is the Washington quarter, which has been in circulation since 1932. While most quarters in circulation are worth no more than 25 cents, some rare and unique versions can command remarkable sums in the world of coin collecting. One such coin that has intrigued collectors for years is the 1997 Washington quarter. At first glance, the 1997 Washington quarter might seem like just another run-of-the-mill coin that you could find in your pocket change. After all, the coin looks much like every other quarter, with the familiar image of George Washington on the front and the eagle on the reverse. The 1997 quarter was part of a standard series made of copper nickel and produced in high numbers. So why has this particular coin sparked so much interest in the numismatic world, and what makes it worth so much more than face value? In the realm of coin collecting, the true value of a coin is often determined by rarity, condition, and sometimes even the story behind it. While the 1997 Washington quarter was minted in large quantities, certain factors have caused this coin to become far more valuable than one might expect. One of the most important factors in determining the value of a coin is the condition it's in. Most quarters you'll find in circulation are worn and tarnished due to years of handling, but the 1997 quarter that is in pristine, uncirculated condition is worth much more than its 25-cent face value. In fact, it's the uncirculated 1997 Washington quarters that often catch the eye of collectors. These coins, which have been carefully preserved and never circulated in the general public, tend to fetch higher prices because they have retained their original shine, detail, and sharpness. When these coins are graded by professionals, those that receive a high grade, such as MS 65 or higher, can become incredibly valuable. Coins with high grades are often sought after for their aesthetic beauty, and the 1997 Washington quarter, in particular, is prized for its well-defined design and the high-quality minting process used during its production. Beyond the condition of the coin, there are also certain unique characteristics that can drive the value of a 1997 Washington quarter higher. Minting errors, which happen when something goes wrong during the production process, are another significant factor that can make a coin exceptionally valuable. A minor error, such as a misaligned die or a double strike, can turn an otherwise common coin into a rare find. Mint errors are often highly desirable among collectors because they are one-of-a-kind and are not typically seen in regular coinage. There have been reports of rare 1997 Washington quarters with such errors that have captivated the attention of numismatists. Some of these error coins were struck with double dies, meaning the coin's design was stamped twice, creating a doubled effect on the images and lettering. Other coins have been struck off-center or have die cracks, which can also increase their value. These imperfections make the coin stand out from the crowd, and collectors are often willing to pay a premium for a coin that's unique. Another reason the 1997 Washington quarter has captured the attention of collectors is because it was part of a special series of quarters produced during the 1990s. This period saw the introduction of the 50-state quarters program, which began in 1999, and many collectors were already focused on the U.S. Mint's quarters from that time. The 1997 Washington quarter, while not part of the 50-state quarters series, still carries the historical significance of being minted during this transitional time in U.S. coinage. This makes the 1997 quarter an important part of the broader collection of late 20th century American coins. The demand for rare and unique coins is ever present in the numismatic community, and collectors are always on the lookout for valuable specimens that may have slipped through the cracks. While the 1997 Washington quarter itself may not have been widely considered a rare coin when it was first minted, the right combination of factors, such as perfect condition, mint errors, and high demand, can push the value of these coins into the realm of serious money. If you happen to come across a 1997 Washington quarter, it's a good idea to inspect it carefully. Look for any signs of minting errors or imperfections, as well as how well the coin has been preserved. If you find that your 1997 quarter is in excellent condition or has a unique error, it could be worth far more than you might have thought. Many numismatic experts recommend getting your coin professionally graded by a certified coin grader. These professionals can assess the coin's authenticity, condition, and potential value, helping you determine if you have a true treasure in your hands. To give you an example of the potential value of the 1997 Washington quarter. Consider this: a rare error coin from that year, in near-perfect condition, was sold at auction for a staggering amount. The final bid for this exceptional coin reached $67,000. That's right, $67,000 for a single Washington quarter, which goes to show that even the most seemingly ordinary coins can have extraordinary worth in the right circumstances. In conclusion, while most 1997 Washington quarters are worth only 25 cents, there are rare and valuable examples of this coin that can fetch tens of thousands of dollars. Whether it's due to its perfect condition, unique minting errors, or its place in the larger context of U.S. coin history, the 1997 Washington quarter is a prime example of how the world of coin collecting can surprise you. So, the next time you come across one of these quarters, take a closer look. Who knows, you could be holding on to a coin worth $67,000. Top 10. When it comes to U.S. coins, especially the humble penny, many people don't think of it as something that could be worth a fortune. After all, pennies are small, often seen as just loose change that gets tossed into drawers or falls between the cushions of your couch. But in the world of coin collecting, certain pennies, especially those from specific years, can be worth much more than their face value. The 1980 Lincoln 1-cent penny is a perfect example of a seemingly ordinary coin that could actually be worth a small fortune. Now, the 1980 penny was a standard issue coin in the United States, but don't let its common appearance fool you. This coin comes from a pivotal time in U.S. history. By the 1980s, changes in the country's economic landscape were beginning to impact the way the U.S. Mint produced coins. While the 1980 penny wasn't the last to be made of the traditional 95% copper, it's part of a series of coins that marked the transition from the traditional copper to the modern zinc-based penny, which came later in the decade. As a result, coins like the 1980 penny carry not only a significant historical context, but also the potential to be quite valuable to those who understand their true worth. So, why would a 1980 Lincoln penny be worth more than just 1 cent? The answer lies in a few key factors: rarity, condition, and the possibility of minting errors. These elements can make a seemingly ordinary penny from 1980 turn into a highly sought-after collector's item. First, let's talk about condition. In the world of coin collecting, condition is one of the most important aspects that affect the value of a coin. Most 1980 pennies that have been in circulation for decades have seen better days. After being in wallets, pockets, and perhaps even through several years of circulation, these pennies are often worn, tarnished, or damaged. But every so often, a coin comes along that has been preserved in near-perfect condition, and this is where the value increases exponentially. Coins in pristine condition are known as mint state, or uncirculated coins, meaning they have never been used in circulation and show no signs of wear or handling. For example, if you happen to find a 1980 penny that is graded at MS 65 or higher by a professional grading service, this coin could be worth much more than its face value. Even small differences in quality can have a big impact on its value, and as fewer high-quality examples of the 1980 penny remain, their worth increases. Now, let's take it a step further. While finding a 1980 penny in excellent condition is rare, it's even rarer to come across one with minting errors. Minting errors are mistakes that happen during the coin-making process, and they can make a coin incredibly valuable. These errors might include things like double strikes, where the design appears more than once on the coin, or off-center strikes, where the image on the coin isn't aligned properly. One particularly sought-after error on the 1980 penny is the double die variety. A double die error occurs when the coin is struck twice by the same die, causing the design to be doubled. The most common areas for this error to show up on the 1980 penny are the date or the lettering. Imagine looking at the year 1980 on a penny and seeing the numbers slightly duplicated or offset. That's the result of a double die error, and it's a major red flag for collectors who want to get their hands on a rare piece. In addition to double die errors, off-center strikes are another common mistake that could make a 1980 penny more valuable. Off-center pennies are produced when the coin blank, or planchet, is misaligned in the coining press. The result is a penny that has the design stamped too far to one side, leaving a portion of the coin blank or with minimal design. These types of errors can be very striking and rare, making them a highly desirable find for collectors. Now, another crucial factor is the overall rarity of the coin. While millions of 1980 pennies were minted, not all of them are still in circulation today, and even fewer are in excellent condition. As time goes on, coins like the 1980 penny are becoming harder to find in good shape, and with fewer minting errors out there, the demand for high-quality examples of this coin will continue to rise. Over the years, more collectors have begun to seek out coins from the late 20th century to complete their sets, and the 1980 penny plays a key role in filling in that collection. But what's the real value of the 1980 Lincoln penny? While most 1980 pennies are worth just 1 cent, there have been examples of this coin fetching much more at auction. One particularly rare 1980 penny, which was in superb condition and featured a notable minting error, recently sold for an astonishing price. The final auction price for this penny was $85,000. That's right, $85,000 for a coin that was originally minted to be worth just 1 cent. This incredible sale highlights just how much a 1980 penny can be worth when the right factors align. Whether it's the rarity of the coin, the historical context it represents, the minting error it contains, or its pristine condition, this penny can easily exceed its face value by tens of thousands of dollars. For anyone who has a collection of old coins, or even just a jar of pennies lying around, it's worth taking a closer look at those 1980 Lincoln pennies. You might just have a valuable treasure hidden in plain sight. Whether it's because of a minting error, exceptional preservation, or just the rarity of the coin itself, the 1980 Lincoln penny could be worth far more than its 1 cent face value. In conclusion, while the 1980 Lincoln 1 cent penny might look like just another coin from the 1980s, it has the potential to be much more valuable than anyone could expect. If you come across one that is in pristine condition, or even better, has a minting error, it could be worth a small fortune. In fact, a particular 1980 penny was recently sold for the incredible amount of $85,000. So, the next time you find a 1980 penny, make sure to take a closer look. You never know when you might have a valuable piece of history right in your hands.